everyone. This is Cheron K. Griffin, aka Madam Butterfly. I am the marriage code cracker and your international matchmaker. And I have someone very, very, very special here right now on this platform. And I am so excited for her to grace me once again with her presence. Her name is Dr. Kara King, and I am going to allow you or her to actually introduce herself. But before we get started, baby, she was one of my clients. And I am just so delighted to have her on this platform. And we're going to talk about our coaching experience, raw, authentic, however it goes. But I have to say this too, we're girlfriends too, okay? So, Dr. Kara, if you could just introduce yourself to everyone, and then we're going to jump right into it.
Yeah, so first of all, thank you so much for your help, your support, your counsel. It was invaluable at a very vulnerable time in my life. So I just want to say that. And thank you for the opportunity to share, this experience, and hopefully it inspires others. So my name is Dr. Kara King. I'm excited to be here. A little bit about me. I am a professional. I work in the biopharmaceutical industry. Have been in that industry for 26 years. Love it. In a senior leadership role, have a vast responsibility under my remit. I make drug products for animals at this time. I used to be in human health. Now I'm in animal health. So, same manufacturing process, same things that I've been trained for, same things that I love. And another part of me personally is that when I met Cheron, I had went through a process of divorce, and that transition of being married for almost 2 decades to now being single, first time dating as an adult, because my first husband was my high school sweetheart. So, you can imagine in your 40s, the first time you're dating real, was quite interesting. And, it was a new identity for me. I had always known myself to be part of another, right? And so to be single, I didn't know what that meant. And that was quite a low point for my career to kind of not career, but for who I was personally to try to reset and what that new identity was and how I saw myself and what I liked and what I didn't like when it pertains to personal relationships. And so helping to navigate that with Sharon's experience, her counsel undergirded with the biblical teachings was necessary at a critical point in my life. So I'm excited to share because she was the real deal. It didn't always leave me happy after our calls, but it definitely left me stronger. I will say
so,
that, but I
so
wouldn't change it for anything because I learned a lot, lots of introspection. So.
yeah, so Kara, I have to say, or Dr. Kara, I have to say this that I really, really appreciate God, number one, right? Because God led you to me like God told you, and you listened. So, one, thank God, that's number one. And number two, thank you for being obedient to God, right? And then entrusting me to guide you, right, into this new person that you are now. Um, Coaching for me is very, 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 very important. Like literally, I don't take it lightly because I feel like it's God entrusting someone else's life in your hands. Right. And to me, that's very important. So your experience dating was very unique.
It was. It was. I mean, I'm not too sure how many 40-year-olds, I shouldn't say 40, in their 40s, experience dating as an adult for the first time, so I
Right.
don't consider what I was doing in high school years truly dating, right? So
Right.
it was different navigating this new space,
But
with technology,
yes,
and how you meet people when you're a professional person on the go was very different. I had never had to navigate that before. So it was quite interesting, fun at times, work at other times, and then sometimes very discouraging. So, I mean, I've had all those emotions during that period.
But what I love about you, especially coming from a Christian background, is that you were dating, you were collecting data, you were dating different gentlemen. Now, one thing I didn't like though is how you were treating some of the men. So,
Because you know what? I had left bitter that it was like I wasn't going to tolerate stuff. So on to the next person. Anything, I wasn't allowing
yeah,
myself to, in my mind at the time, to compromise on what I wanted. And also too, if anybody was showing red flags, I wasn't about trying to fix anybody anymore. Oh well, at this point, you should already be at a
right,
a
absolutely.
certain step or a certain phase in your life, emotionally, financially, whatever it was that would turn me off. I would immediately, you know, push go and keep on going, to the next stop. And I didn't always do that well in my process because I do
Right,
think there was a rebound period. And I honestly, unfortunately, people who were in my, as I call trial and error, the error phase of my trial and error,
right.
I apologize sincerely.
Did you ever go back and apologize to any
I
of the
did not.
gentlemen?
No,
Okay.
because once I said I had moved on, I didn't ghost people. Now, that's one thing I didn't do because for some reason, that's what people would tell me. That was a new term I learned during this dating process.
Yes.
And I just didn't feel that was right. Now, would I
Okay.
cut people off immediately? Like, yes, but I would go and tell them, hey, we're not compatible, and I would move on and I would delete their contact information, block them or whatever, so it was no more contact from that point.
Okay. And
Um,
I think
yeah,
that's very important. To
yeah.
be honest, like you cut your losses in the beginning and you keep on moving. So I want to ask you, was there something that I said or did that really stuck out in your mind that kind of shifted your life? If you can name like three things.
Yeah. I will say you helped me see myself. I will say I wasn't always good because in the beginning I wasn't looking for a long-term relationship. So I would knew that people were into me, knew that, they were feeding my ego, but I knew that I wasn't really serious. And the reason why I would cut my losses because before it got too deep, I had my fun, I would move on. And I remember you had me really think. You called me a bitch. I
You
mean that was I mean that's the one thing I remember. And it made me like who she thinks she
know,
talking to? But what it did was it forced me to really look inside and say, is this how I would want somebody to treat me? And I
right,
did that for probably I was in that space for a good year, after my divorce. Um, because I wanted to truly play the field. I didn't play the field. I didn't get a chance to really enjoy dating. And so I don't think that I went into the situation being really honest with people that um, I wasn't really interested. And honestly, I don't think initially I knew that. I think what I was thinking, um, I was lying to myself thinking that I could pursue this more.
okay,
But when you made me really think about like, no, I'm not ready for that. So why don't I just be upfront with people? Because
right,
I really wasn't ready for that. That's why I was leaving people in the wind and cutting them off. And when I knew they were getting deeper instead of just being really honest. So it forced me to do that. That was one. I think the second thing too, you made it okay for me to really date to identify what I wanted and what I didn't want it. But the how was important. And I think that
yeah,
that was part of the introspection part. Like you don't have to break spirits. You don't have to leave people raw and
right,
hurt in the process. You can still do that and date and understand what you really wanted and what you didn't want, but do it in a way that, that was kind, right? From that
right.
perspective. So I think that was the second thing. And the third thing is that I just appreciated your candor. Like you didn't try to be, this person sitting on a couch taking notes. Like you approached it as if I was your friend and coming to you raw. I mean, I told you,
A lot.
yeah, I
A
mean, I
lot.
was real vulnerable because that's just where I was. And I believe I was vulnerable because God gave me permission, right? He said,
Yes, yes.
contact this person. So I didn't go in easy. I don't know how to step into stuff. That's why I used to tell guys,
Okay, okay.
I go 10 toes in. I just jump in and right. So I don't know how to ease in. And that's just how I
Yes.
approach this. Like, I think our first day, I was like, here, this is what's going on. I'm doing this. And you was like, girl, you should be doing that. You might, but I just went all in because if God told me to do it, then I ain't got no time to waste to ease in. Tell
Right,
me what's wrong with me. Tell me what I need to do. Help me get out of
right.
the funk that I am. And I think you allowed me the space to do that. And you didn't approach it as client and professional. You approached it as a true voice
Okay.
to be able to share. So you fostered that.
I love that. So, what I loved about you, like you said, you were vulnerable. Some of the things you shared was mind blowing. Um, but it was, but it was okay. You know what I'm saying? Like literally, I
No
hear, oh,
judgment. I
right,
forgot that. No
no.
judgment from you, which is what I needed, right? I just needed to be. So sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Yeah.
Oh, no, no worries. Thank you for saying that. And I do try to be a no judgment zone. Literally, people will say, can I come see you because I can be free? Which is very interesting. And I'm like, you can be free anywhere, be yourself. And people don't feel like they can. So thank you for saying that. So I know that your life has shifted lot, a lot since our coaching experience. And could you explain and tell our audience how?
Yeah. So I would say, oh, sorry, we have an echo.
No worries.
Okay. I will say that both professionally and personally, it shifted. There was exponential growth. I think because I took the time as part of this to really work on myself, I showed up different, not only in relationships or in dating, I showed up differently at work. There was a level of confidence and becoming as
Yes,
part of this process. So this was a key component. There was other areas that God was working with me in outside of this, but this was
yes,
definitely a key component as part of the overall process of becoming. So the position I'm in, I mean, I think when I met you, I'm probably two positions higher
wow.
than where I was when I met you. And that was only like when this first happened, it was probably like 5, 6 years ago, right? So when I was
Yeah.
really transitioning in that piece. And then personally, I mean, I'm married. I found my man, right? I done found my boo thing. And when I tell you my boo thing, that all the people say, oh, well, maybe you have too many criteria.
Mm,
I had became a stickler, like absolutely not. I know that what God has for me is for me. And you used to say that all the time.
yeah,
I will have what I have. And when I tell you it's beyond, it's my list and things I didn't even know that I needed. This man is my best friend. He was particularly made for me. And I remember God made it real clear in a marriage for 2 decades, on my knees, going reading the book, The Power of the Praying Wife, going to counseling, going to marriage counseling, I mean marriage events, church events by myself now, right? In my prayer closet, praying for this husband. And I remember being mad at God, and I was telling you that during that process. And God revealed to me at the end of this becoming when I was ready to receive it, I didn't fail you. The
yes,
husband you were praying for wasn't that husband. It's the
yes.
I can see everything that I prayed for then, 12, 15 years ago, is in this person, like he was designed specifically for me. And when I tell you, 2.5 years in, I wouldn't have it any other way. Have
I love that.
my man. So call
I
me
love that.
Mrs. King.
Dr. King.
Dr. King, Dr. Mrs. King.
Yes, yes, yes. You know, you are the third or fourth person that I've coached that has gotten married. And I am so godly proud that God has allowed me to be a vessel and people, women, um, experiencing a soft life,
Hmm.
right? So to me, a soft life simply means peace, right? I know that a lot of the young girls are saying uh, love, luxury, primarily luxury. But again, it means peace. But you do have luxury too.
I mean, favor ain't fair. No, but God is a blessing God. I will tell you. And I think when you're obedient to God, He allows you to walk in all your God-given talents, both either professionally and personally, to achieve what he has for you. Like I really
Yes,
believe the word. When the word says that God came to give you life and life more abundantly, he was talking about here on earth. He wasn't just
yes,
talking about in
yes.
heaven, right? So,
Right.
so I definitely believe that I am the manifestation of what that verse is in my life. And I just thank God because the trials and tribulations that I had gone through all worked out for my good and continue. Um, to help me realize all the potential that God has for me. And I want to get all of it. Before I close my eyes, I want to get
Yes,
everything that
yes.
God has for me here on this earth and who I'm supposed to influence and impact here on this earth. So,
That's right. That's right. And that's what I tell God as well, that when I leave earth, I want to leave here empty.
yeah,
Every gift,
because you didn't
every
pour out.
talent
Mhm.
is out in the earth for my children and other people to carry that legacy on. And then I would be free,
Yeah.
So I'm excited. So if you could encourage women or men today in the area of coaching, because a lot of people are afraid of going to either therapy or coaching, especially in our community. I mean, we're more open now. What would you say, or and why?
Yeah. I mean, I've used it all. So I've used, my company has given me executive coaches. I've paid money for different therapists. And you were a life coach, but a therapist, executive coach, all rolled up in one that I was able to get. So to me, I believe that God blesses people with these vocational careers. He can use anything, right? He
Yes.
can use anyone to achieve his molding of his people. And that's why when I heard God say, contact you, because I don't think we had been in conversation for years. And I reached out to you and
Years.
you immediately responded, right? So I knew that it was God ordained. So with that, I would tell people, get all the help you can. It's out there, it's available. If it's group mentoring, if it's life coaching, whatever it is that's going to help you move out of this funk. Like I'm not a wallower by nature. I don't know how to
Okay.
do that. And so that's why I was reaching out to be able to get past it. It's not comfortable for me. Like once I didn't have my ugly cry, I'm looking at, okay, what's the next step? I
Right,
can't stay
right,
in that
right.
place. And so if I don't know, then I would, if you don't know, I would encourage you to seek the help that you need. Life coaching is invaluable. And like I said, it doesn't have to be a difference between professional and personal. You were able to help influence both by engaging with you. And I'm the product of that. I'm really living a peaceful life. I'm happy with myself. I love myself. I'm
Yes,
49 years old. I'm in almost my last year in this decade.
yes.
And I can honestly say over the last 5 to 6 years, I'm in a place of no insecurity, complete happiness for him. Do I like do I have flaws? Absolutely. Are there some things I don't like? Absolutely. But that doesn't stop me for loving myself. And I don't know if I could have said that 6 years ago.
That's big.
Yeah. It's a piece like you would never understand until you get there.
And that's what I tell people, Dr. Kara, is that peace is everything, and then peace in marriage is everything.
It's key. My husband,
Yeah.
like my husband says that, like, oh no, you have to fight to keep your peace. And I don't care who you are, family, friends, or whatever. If you if your job is to disturb my peace, you don't necessarily get access to me. That's his word,
That
quote,
part.
quote. That doesn't mean just it's no obligation for you to have access to me if you create instability in my peace. That is his quote. And I really believe that. Yeah, I
Yes.
really children and all, right? You know what I mean? So,
Yes,
and that
yes,
might be hard for people to hear. I mean, I got adult children, so, you know, however, I think it's important. And to your point, as you get older, the most, to me, I used to think success was money. I used to think success was position. I used to think success was, being in a stable marriage. No, I really believe success is having that inner and outer peace. As I've
yes.
gotten older, I realize how invaluable that is, to your point.
I love that. And I love that you're at the epitome of your career, even though I'm sure there's more. I'm sure there's more blessings to come. Oh, well, you just had a grandbaby. That's a blessing.
Yes, yes. Another clear transition in my life. And I'm loving it. I was a little, I didn't know how I felt about it because I feel young. I feel like my son,
Yes.
he's in his 20s, but I feel like, there's so much more. But now that my boo baby is here,
Oh,
I am
I
so
love
in
that.
love. I just don't even know how to act, right? So anyway,
And,
yeah, I'm
and
loving
wait
the
a
stage.
minute, your body changed.
A sister's fine. I'm just
Yes, you are, baby. I saw
a
you in
sister's
that
fine,
gym. I was like, oh,
Yeah,
yes, honey.
I worked hard. Like again, it was all a part of when you have that inner peace of yourself, you change your habits to reflect that. I didn't like being overweight. It was something weighing me down, and I was in a cycle of continuous abuse or I don't know the right words to say, but I was just in this cycle that wasn't helping me in my previous marriage, where I was personally, and just this weight, everything was just heavy.
Yeah.
And this process of coaching allowed me to tackle some really deep things and rooted things that I had never really pulled up. And because
Yeah.
of that, I was able to break the cycle in every aspect, which is how I was able to achieve that peace. So just think that where you are, you could be weighed down, and there is truly a freedom if you're really willing to go deep to address those issues, reflect and acknowledge those things that you are struggling with, and take action to do something different. And
Yeah.
your coaching helped me to fight the battle in my mind, that
Okay.
then drove the actions. When you gave me a different belief system about
Yeah.
who I could be as part of those conversations, that influenced my actions in every aspect of my life. And I'm living it.
Yes. And wait a minute, your car.
You talking about Mozzie? You talking
Mozzie, baby.
about Mozzie? She all right. She all right. Yes.
Oh,
Yes, that
I,
was a big gift to myself. One,
oh
it was a good
man.
promotion that I got in my job. And it was something that I finally said, you know what, you deserve this.
Yes.
You deserve this. And a lot of times I would sacrifice and for others at the expense of who I was. And I'm not just talking about just, material things, but
Right.
that material things was a validation that it's okay to reward
Yes.
yourself and be comfortable with who you are and all that you accomplish and not just from a professional but even personal. And
Yes.
that's what it was. Even the purchase of my home at the time in North Carolina when I
I
transitioned to
remember.
Pennsylvania, all of that was my new beginning
Yes.
of who I could become. It was my restoration place. And
Girl.
yeah,
And you deserved all of it.
yeah.
You deserved all of it. And
Thank you.
so many women, especially Black women, feel like they don't deserve.
And I felt like that. I felt like that. I think I allowed a lot of things to happen to me because I didn't think that I deserved more.
Yes.
What it was. I thought, and that was a lot of it was because of insecurities. And
Yes.
the other piece was I didn't like myself. So it just validated how I already felt. Oh, of course you don't like me because I don't like that about me, right? So yeah, you
Right.
talk to me lowly because that's what's expected because I don't like
Yeah.
X,
Yeah.
right? And so I realized my worth in all
Yes.
aspects. And I'm blessed to have the opportunity to afford such things and be able to have such luxuries. Um, and yeah, I took advantage.
Like good. And I'm saying good. So I just want to again say thank you, thank you, thank you um for entrusting me with your heart, right? With your heart and with your mind. And of course, trusting God that God wasn't leading you wrong as far as us coaching.
Mhm.
And I'm amazed. That's all I gotta say. Like
I
I'm
mean, I will
amazed.
just say this, like you shared as well, and I think that helped me look at things like, okay, I'm not alone. Our experience
Yes,
wasn't exactly the same, but I could still relate to some of the feelings that you had as part of your dating process as you transition from one marriage. And I definitely appreciated that you were as open to sharing what you
yes,
thought was relevant to help me think about things differently. And you don't always get that in therapy. Is always typically one-sided and different
right.
things. To me, that reflection or that sounding board from your experience helped me go into deeper reflection about myself. So that to me was also appreciative that you were able to do that because I don't know if I would have gotten as deep
Okay,
in some of the things that I needed to tackle personally if you
right,
weren't vulnerable, being on the other side
right.
of your experience. Like that, the power of your testimony, that's kind of what you were giving. And that was helpful, very helpful
Yes.
to me. So thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. One
Yeah.
thing I tell anyone is you have what you say,
Yeah.
right? And that you can manifest anything. You just have to believe.
Hmm.
And you believed,
I did.
and you were just walking your journey out in the dating process and everything. And that wasn't bad. It was good in the aspect that you were learning you.
Right.
You broke some hearts in the midst, but you were learning you, and that was a beautiful thing. It was like a caterpillar turning into a butterfly, and now you're the butterfly.
Yeah.
You
And I
know,
mean, that's actually one of my signature things. I don't have anything on now, but typically I have some a brooch or some earrings or earring or a ring about a butterfly because I really do
yes.
think that was my metamorphosis. I really do think that was my transition. So it was only befitting, that you became Madam Butterfly because literally, I don't even know if you had that already set up when we first started, but
Uh-huh.
to me it made so much sense because that's exactly what reflected, and I still wear something about that because it was such a shift, a
Wow.
metamorphosis. Yeah.
Someone coined that for me maybe about 15 years ago on Facebook, a
Oh
Facebook
wow,
friend.
wow, wow! It's so befitting because
Thank
you
you.
definitely were the cocoon that enabled all
Thank you.
that development in how you did things. And I think too, not only the things that we had in our individual sessions were beneficial, you live your life in the open. And so, like, the things you post on Facebook and other social media forums, um, were also things I didn't always say yes or tag, click on
Right.
something or always respond, but I was definitely reading. And, just the things that you shared about your own personal things or what you were actually doing is a freedom for other people to say, you know what, I can do that too, or I can experience
Right.
that too, or I can look at my life differently and be that free. And honestly, the key point that I shared with you before the call was that someone said, oh yeah, yeah, you and your husband just lets you be you. And I
Yeah.
actually thought about that because I remember us having a conversation. You was like, yeah, my husband, I'll be over here, we'll be at a party, and I'll be over here chucking it up with such and this dude and that dude. And he just be like, I'm gonna just let my wife be. And I was like, that's what I want. Like he understands who you are. He's not threatened. He's not,
Right.
this is who you are, right? I mean, even your belief systems, and you talked about that is different, and you
Yeah.
guys have the freedom, but yet still have the love and breaking some of like the traditional norms and from a Christian
Yeah.
perspective, but it's working for you. And so to me, it just challenged my whole way of thinking, like, how do I want to show up in my marriage? I don't want to show up with another mask. I already have to deal with that somewhat at work.
Right. Right. Right.
I want to be on the pendulum of authenticity at the furthest degree of being authentic to myself at home. I want to be able to be fully relaxed and at peace. And your experiences beyond just the therapy was also critical, I think, in that moment. So again, thanking you not only in your honesty and living what you preach, but also the dedicated time that you spent on helping me in our coaching sessions.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you so much. And again, I appreciate your time on this evening. I thank you so, so much for sharing because this is, I'm going to share this. This is very important to me, and I just have to thank God, of course, for being super amazing in my life and, just giving me the skills and the tools to be able to help people in a non-judgmental way. So again, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm honored, that God chose you for me.
Yay.
And I am so proud of you, all your accomplishments, your marriage, your grandbaby, your parents, just everything that's taken place in your life. So thank you once again.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you for walking in your gifting so authentically. It is a blessing whether people acknowledge you in the moment and give you your flowers. I'm going to make sure you understand your flowers. You are doing great work. You are
Thank
doing
you.
great work and you're having an impact beyond what you could imagine. So thank you. And
Oh,
thanks for the
you're
opportunity to share.
welcome. Hey guys, this is Cheron K. Griffin, and I am signing off. I am your international matchmaker and the marriage code cracker. And baby, let me tell you, I get results. You heard it firsthand from Dr. Kara King, and I get results. So make sure that you subscribe, follow, share, and come back again. Flat, flat, baby. Flat, flat.